And we are back. We are live. Hopefully, 5 by 5. Hopefully, we get some people back into the new recording, the new broadcast. Okay. Hold on a second. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Okay. Let me see here. Let me get this out there. And my camera's gone again. Yeah, this live stream ain't gonna work until I get a new camera. My camera's gone again. Hold on, everybody. And I have no camera. It's a very cool temperature. I got fans on my computers. I got, yeah, it's a very cool temperature in the house. It's not that. Now, it's my camera. It keeps shutting off. My camera won't stay on. Just hang in with me. Okay, we are back. This is the best I'm gonna be able to do for as a backup camera. Are we here? Okay, we are here, everybody. I apologize about the delay. I apologize about all these technical difficulties. I hope everybody can see me now. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Now that I'm totally discombobulated and lower camera to center face. Yeah, well, the camera is as lowered as it's going to be. And I'm unfortunately on a, it's a little 4K camera. DG Outdoors donated the channel. And it's my backup. And I'm glad I had it. Thank you again, DG Outdoors. I'm going to be thanking you a lot this live stream. How's my audio? Everybody hear me okay? My up house looks good. Lower the camera to center the base. How's my audio there, Mystic? Let me get the link back into the chat here. Um, shoot. Okay, there's the link, you guys. Yeah, once again, I apologize for all these technical difficulties going down here as of late. This was totally unexpected for my camera to just completely piss out on me. It's a brand new camera. I guess I'm sending it back to Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, we got in the back again DG Outdoors and Mystic 22222.
Can y'all hear
Hey
me
guys,
okay now?
can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You can hear me
Yeah.
better, Mystic?
Well, you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
Do you remember back in the old days when we had tree forks and we would with a tin can at each end of the line? You stretched it tight.
No, it's not that bad, is it?
I mean, we can understand you.
You can understand me.
It's
That's
usable.
good. We can hear you and we can understand you. So that's good.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Okay,
Just stay, just stay
but the
close
quality is shit.
No,
to
I
the mic.
mean we can
Stay close.
understand you and we can hear you and we can see you, so we're good to go.
All right. Well, before anything else happens, I think we should get into why we're having this live stream.
Yep.
This live stream is brought to you today by our good friend DG Outdoors. He gifted us something right here, and I'm so excited because it's the first one I've ever owned. I've shot one, but I've never owned one. Talked about it on the last live stream, but we all know what it is. And YouTube, I'm just gonna put it out here right now. You know what I need to do? I need to get me something that flash up on the screen,
Yeah. Like Maccabee
a
Speed does.
warning, like Maccabee Speed does. But I need to figure out how to do that.
Just make you a paper sign and tape it up.
Make me a paper sign and just tape it up.
By the way, Brian, it is not just your audio. The whole restream is low volume. I have all three of my volume controls at maximum.
So it's on the restream side, you think?
Yes, because TG's about the same volume, but he's not sounding tinny. He's sounding very well rounded, but it's the same volume.
No
right.
idea.
Well, I really have. I've been trying to adjust, play with these settings on this sound card, and
Yeah.
I've been trying to I don't know. I guess get the best quality sound that I possibly can. It's not working.
Right now, I wouldn't mess with it. Just roll with what you got.
Just roll with what I got, right?
Because it's
Yep.
usable.
So let's get into this, guys. YouTube, this is an air gun. This is not a firearm. I'm not going to handle it. I'm going to leave it in the box, but well, I got to handle it. You know what? YouTube, if you cut my stream over this, you are pathetic.
Well, I think there's no argument there. So this is your big reviling, Brian?
Revealing.
Revealing. Did I spell it reviling?
Yeah.
Probably. It's okay. You eating ice cream? No.
Well, that's my dyslexia for you.
And I will say that's courtesy of Airgun Depot. So. Yeah.
Aww. It's a Daisy Red Rider.
Is that the adult Red Rider too?
The adult Red Rider. Adult
There
size
you go.
Red Rider.
All grown up and ready to have its first drink.
Right.
Now you don't gotta pump up your guns 15,000 times to shoot them, and
no, I just gotta pump this thing 15,000 times.
No, you just gotta. It's a one little lever action. You pop it, and the BB shoots out of it. And you can shoot 650 BBs. It'll hold 650
Now, does
BBs.
this? I wonder. Let me see. Oops.
Huh?
Does it got the wood stock?
Yes.
Or is it plastic stock?
It's wood because. I just watched a whole tour of the Daisy Air Rifle Museum and went through the history of the Red Rider. And back in the 50s, they went to a plastic stock for a while because they couldn't find they ran out of resources to make the wood stock. And then they went back years later and started reintroducing the wood stock again. So it's got a wood stock on it. It may have a plastic lever on it though. I'm not sure if it's got a metal one or a plastic one.
Was that plastic nylon?
I'm not sure what kind of plastic it is.
Because nylon turned out to be a superior material back when there was a 22 long rifle rimfire that was produced with a nylon stock. 50 years later, you couldn't tell it wasn't brand new, and it was just almost indestructible. I mean, wood dings and dents and scratches. This stuff, it was like an old-fashioned telephone. The old-fashioned telephones were made of ABS, and you could not break those shells. They did not scratch. I mean, they look the same 50 years later as when they first came out. Yep. Nylon is the same way. So that would have been a good material for choice, and I suspected that would have been a kind of a manufacturing fad. People would get the idea. I think the main reason why people go to furniture material is because there's a psychological thing about furniture. In fact, they literally call it furniture. Yeah. So, fine mahogany or something. Remington nylon 66.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's all wood.
So literally, the only difference between the youth model Red Rider and the adult Red Rider is the stock's 2 inches longer, and it's probably about a half an inch or an inch wider. So it's made for an adult. So you don't feel cramped up. Other than that, it shoots 350 feet a second. It should have a 650 BB capacity, and all you do is crank that lever and be able to shoot it after you put BBs in it.
There you go. It's a BB gun, YouTube.
There you go, buddy.
Thank you very much, Ed, for helping with that history.
Yep.
Very cool. Thank you, DG. Thank you for my very first Red Rider BB gun. And I promise not to shoot my eye out.
Just keep your glasses on. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, that's what we need to win this war, but between the Ukraine and the Russians, is to send them both big batches of Red Riders.
That's right. There you
Within a
go.
month, they won't be able to shoot at anything.
I mean, it doesn't have the sundial or the compass in the stock, but trust me, you'll still have as much fun.
I will. I will. Most definitely. My friend,
Yeah.
thank you again.
Well, forever since I've known you, I wanted to get you a gun, and I was like, I'm gonna get him a Red Ryder. I think that would be fun. And you won't run out of pellets because you have a lot of BBs, so
No.
you can buy BBs by the 8,000 rounds. So. Yeah.
That is right.
Mystic, was that your first BB gun? Was a Red Ryder?
It was probably my brother's. I inherited almost everything from him. Like 20 or 30 different musical instruments, his football equipment, his pogo stick. He was the number one son, so they bought everything for him, and then he just didn't care for any of that stuff. So I inherited it one after another.
So the BBs go into this port here, right?
So,
Yeah,
so if you push that down, it'll slide up.
Yeah.
Actually, you turn the front end, the front cap. You turn it, and it rotates the block out of the hole.
I see.
Oh, well,
Not on this one.
that
This
one's
one-
different.
Really?
It says push.
This one is
push
just
in.
this little trap door that pops open.
That's what it should be. A trap door that pops open, stays open, and then you close it.
Yeah, you pour the BBs in there and you close it.
Otherwise, how do you put like 200
right.
BBs in there, right?
Very cool. Finally got me a Red Ryder.
650 BBs of all-day shooting and target flinking on the ranch now.
Yeah.
Those things.
That leather thong may get in the way though. The little leather strap on the saddle
I'm
strap.
keeping it on there. It looks cool.
It might get in the way of the cocking lever. Mine did that. But
You got a Red Ryder, Ed?
I love the Red Ryder, dude. I'm about ready to do a video on the Red Ryder versus the 760 Pump Master just to see which one's more accurate on my channel. Probably tomorrow. It's not raining outside.
Cool.
Just for the fun of it.
I seen you put out a video, an airsoft pistol video.
Yeah, it wasn't my first choice, but when it's like hurricane force winds outside and there's tree limbs all over my yard right now and raining, I was like, well, it looks like I'm going to do some indoor shooting. So.
I wonder what was up with that. The new one loaded differently in the 1960s.
So the 1960s one, you could actually take the end of the gun off the end and pull it out and then load BBs in that way, I think.
That's what Mystic was talking about, right?
Yeah, so back in like the 80s, it was a safety concerns that they wanted to say, we don't want to be able to have the gun pull apart, so they had to put that loading door in there. With a Crossman scope.
That's cool.
Yeah, I could buy a lasso mount for my Red Ryder, but I haven't. That's what they call it. So you can put a scope.
So you're saying that there's a rail, a Picatinny rail that will fit onto this?
It's called. You can go to the Daisy website. It's called a lasso rail. It's basically lasso. Yeah, like a rope, like a lasso. And it comes with a screw mount, and it'll tell you how to put them on there.
Cool.
So you can put like a 11 millimeter dovetail scope on there.
Okay. So it's 11 millimeter.
So yeah, after that first Red Ryder, then my brother got this pistol that looked like a Ruger, but it took caps, the paper caps. So that technically was a firearm.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then about 5 years ago, I found that old Red Ryder, and it didn't need a lot. It looked pretty bad, but it turned out it just needed a lot of oiling and cleaning and re-oiling and ramrodding, and now it works just fine. Did a pretty good job. One of the kids tried to shoot a tire and missed. It only hit right about there, so it's a little off, I guess. But yeah, it works as good as it did when we first got it.
You'll shoot your eye out.
It's out of calibration. It needs to be resighted. Iron sights, of course.
There's all kinds of modifications you can watch on YouTube. People put super tuned springs in those things, and
Oh
if
yeah,
you want to, you can put like a bigger lever in there, like the 1999 has, so your
yeah.
hand will fit in there better. Fiber optic sight, a scope, a sling. Daisy actually made a 22 rifle back in the day, but they, yeah, it didn't go as well, I guess.
More important to the mods is the wide range of ammo you can use in them. Okay, so I would cut one end off of a cotton swab and use it as darts for a dartboard. I would take matches, strike anywhere matches, and dip them in sodium. Oh, excuse me.
That's what I was thinking about doing.
Sodium silicate solution,
Bring it
which
back.
is a fireproofing coating. And when it dries out, you can shoot those at anything hard, and it turns it into a smoke bomb.
A smoke bomb.
Yep.
Don't be ruining your new gun, Brian.
Now, my brother. No, I won't be. But I've thought about trying this because you could do it. You could do it in any one of my air guns. You take the shoe. You know the tips of the shoestrings. It's got that little hard plastic part on there. You know the shoestrings. You know shoestrings.
Yes.
You know the tips of them.
Yeah, there's a name for that. I can't remember the name, but it basically keeps the shoestring from unraveling.
Yes. You cut it off about a quarter inch from that plastic tip.
Yep.
And you fray the ends.
Uh-huh.
And then
it makes a dart out of it.
Then you take a sewing needle and you put it down through the middle and you make a dart out of it. My brother used to do that with his Benjamin. He had a Benjamin. It was a pump. It was a pumper.
The Benjamin 392 or the Benjamin Blue Street?
I think it was a Benjamin Bush, but it was a multi-pump, and he had that, and he would make these darts out of shoestring tips, and shoot me with them.
Yeah, that's where the phrase came from, on a shoestring budget.
On a shoestring budget, that's right.
What have I gone and done? Brian's gonna be making all his own ammo now.
No, I want to get those. I do want to start making my own ammo. They got these molds. They got these molds you can get for 68 caliber, 50 caliber, and 43 caliber. Where you can take hot glue and marbles and BBs and whatnot, and make your own, mold your own.
I learned from that video today. In like 1916 or something, Daisy made a BB gun that was supposed to look like a military rifle. But it only shot lead BBs because they hadn't made steel barrels yet for their BB guns. So it was like a brass barrel.
And it's only good for shooting G.I. Joes.
Yeah, well,
right.
Yeah. But there's a guy that goes by Restamod Daisy on YouTube, and all he does is mod and fix and work on Red Ryder platform BB guns. And he was going to swap it out with a steel barrel so you could shoot normal BBs through it.
Yeah.
It's like super, super rare. And they came with a rubber bayonet on them.
Oh.
And a lot of the parents would take them away. So if you find one with the bayonet, you're paying close to over $1,000 for one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like a 3D print one.
Right.
They said a lot of the kids would break them off and file the end down of the bayonet where it was still metal and go stab stuff with it.
Yeah, I'm
sure
that was the main reason they got taken away, not because it was rubber.
Did somebody have a cat?
Yeah, well, one of them ran across my lap.
Oh, okay. That's where the cute cat came from.
Yeah, it wasn't talking
I
about
must
me.
have missed that part.
You're a cool cat.
Oh,
Well, so now another thing you can do is you can take a barbecue skewer, wooden stick,
I'll be right back.
about the right diameter, and put a bottle on the end of it and fill it with things and make a mortar out of it.
uh-huh. Yeah, we used to do that with our bottle rock.
Yeah.
Those are highly illegal. What was that, 50? Huh? 1940? Yep, that's when the Daisy Red Ryder came out, 1940. Very cool, very cool. I'm excited to shoot it.
Every Daisy Red Ryder ought to come with a DVD with
Home Alone?
no.
No,
That's a good one. That's a good one, but no.
isn't it A Christmas Tale?
Christmas Tale, yeah, Christmas Story,
When
yeah.
I was a kid, I made an attachment for my Red Ryder, so it would shoot 22 shot.
Shorts.
A Christmas Story, right?
Yeah,
About
Christmas
the
Story.
Red Ryder BB gun.
Ah, yes.
It's got
Ah,
Ralphie in it. Go CCI
That's kind of similar to what we do now with the high power air guns. Is we put a little dab of oil in the back so it diesels and triples the power. Unfortunately, because it's random power, it throws your grouping way off, and so it's not very accurate.
and the combustion will destroy your seals.
I haven't found a problem with the combustion, but the high pressures can blow your seals out.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Not
guess
good.
that's what I meant. The high
But
power.
it's worth it.
It's worth it. I used
It's
to do
worth
it
it.
to Benjamin Prowler all the time.
When you're a kid, you don't think about things like don't put WD-40 where it says oil here because you think it's oil. That's
Right.
how my original Daisy Grizzly got broken after having it for 15 years. But then I just bought another one on eBay last year. So, yeah.
Cool.
My safety didn't work. The safety broke. My dad had to take the spring out, so I didn't even have a safety on my gun.
Is there a safety on the Red Ryder?
There is. There's a little block safety on the trigger guard.
All right.
It looks like a square.
Okay.
But
you could read the manual and find out all about that. Not that anybody does that.
I don't read the instructions.
Mine did not have a safety.
They didn't, not till the 80s when they started putting safeties on everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, mine was from the
Real men don't read
early 50s.
So I think the one like Mystic has just one like kink, like when you get it to the end, I'll go tink 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 snap, and then it breaks down. And I don't know. I think it's a anti bear trap feature in the gun is why it does that multiple clicks in the lever. But I may be wrong.
Well, if you fire without a BB in it, the hammer slams hard into the back of the tube, and it damages both the hammer and the tube. But because you can pull the whole thing out, it's pretty easy to service.
Oh yeah, Red Ryder platforms are real easy to work on if you know what you're doing. So.
Well, I have to learn.
And it's just fun to shoot. Now, Brian, I'm gonna have to ask you. They say the max shooting range of that is 195 yards. Are you gonna be able to test that?
No, but
I got 50.
You've got a ballistic trap. You could calculate what it would take to do that. I don't think.
I wonder where their testing facilities are, where they're testing these BB guns to make them shoot 400 yards.
I can make it shoot several thousand yards from an airplane shooting straight down.
Well, at 1,000 yards, bullets go straight down anyways.
Anonymous American.
What's that?
We have an anonymous air gunner come in too. Anonymous American, welcome. He says, I have
We
a Red
talked about the Red Rider, and everybody shows up.
Rider Christmas edition with the sun compass built in. I also own a Daisy 1999 in teal.
Yep. Until I have,
Yeah,
well,
45 degrees is the maximum you can get distance on, but it sideways. But if you shoot straight down, there's no limit. You could shoot from the moon, and you get all the way to Earth.
Oh,
0 degrees angle, or maybe depending on how you look at it, minus 270. I'm sorry, minus 90 or plus 270.
I've got an adult Red Rider coming on Sunday from Amazon.
You do?
I brought mine.
You buy
Yep,
yourself an adult one too?
I did, because the other one, after shooting it a while, puts a kink in my neck because it's got the short stock on it, and I'm like, well,
It says using
if something breaks on my adult one, though, I can take the parts out of the youth one and put it in there because it's the same exact gun.
it's saying
It's just got a
using
bigger
Kentucky
stock.
windage you can get some pretty amazing shots at times.
You can do a lot of things with Kentucky windage.
Yeah.
That's true of anything.
You just got to
It's
master the art.
Yep. All right, we're good. Yeah, dude, Red Riders are accurate. Mine likes to shoot a little to the left, but sometimes I've noticed when I shoot and that coil goes off, then it throws my shot off. That spring.
Well, the thing you need to remember, Anonymous, is that virtually all air guns are far more accurate than any firearm because their pressures are very, very consistent, even when they're not regulated.
Right.
And when they're not regulated, and you get to know it well enough, you know exactly how much the pressure drops. With a regulated one, you should be able to shoot dimes at 100 yards if there's no rain. If you're shooting through a tunnel, underground tunnel, through a culvert or something, and you got it locked down to something, you should be able to hit Robin Hoods all day long. You should be able to shoot through a single hole.
So here's my question, Mister. When I'm watching a lot of Brian's videos and he's doing his velocity testing,
Is what?
Why would the first number be low and then it gets higher as you shoot and then it backs down? Is it because it peaks at a certain time?
No, it's because the ones he's shooting are unregulated or poorly regulated.
Yeah.
So you do have a sort of a regulator in there, but it's a very primitive one. It's only a single stage. So what's happening is when you when you bring it to full pressure, it's actually overpressurized.
Yep.
So because it's overpressurized, the regulator is overcompensating and producing lower pressure than when it's at its midpoint. At the midpoint,
so that first shot's always going to be lower, and then it'll peak up to where it needs.
You got to find
as the pressure,
spot.
As the tank pressure drops, the output of the regulator actually rises until it gets to its sweet spot.
Oh.
And then after that, then the tank pressure is actually regulated. And again, a very poor, low precision regulator will undercompensate for that. The ones that they typically use in South Africa for squirrel and bird shooting, those are very high cost guns. They're not very high powered, not very high long range, but their regulators are so precise that taking the wind out of it, again, I've seen them shoot from a quarter of a mile away and hit the bird in the head. The other side, of course, is your ammunition and your barrel. Your ammunition has to be extremely consistent. So these people always take their fresh factory pellets and they wash all the lubricant off. Then they check the sizes. They check they use calipers to check the horizontal and vertical diameters. Make sure that they exactly fit their barrel. Throw away the rest or give them away. They weigh them out so that they're all within a couple percentage points of having the same weight, and re-lubricate them. I think the best option is what I suggested to McAdee Speed, because he had an extensive experience in powder coating. So he went ahead and tested powder coating, and he found that was superior to absolutely anything. And that's really the way to go. Powder coating gives you a perfect seal every time, regardless of variation in skirt diameter.
So I've never tested any of his powder coating. He's never sent me any. And I haven't shot any powder coated yet.
I think there's other people.
I know Daisy has what they call ground shot right now, and it's a match grade steel BBs. So I don't know how they match grade everything, but normally it's zinc plated or copper plated is what you normally shoot. But
Well,
maybe they'll shoot better, maybe they'll shoot worse.
the
I
way
don't
they
know.
do that, and there's actually videos on it, is they mass produce a massive amount of BBs or pellets. Then they sort them by weight. They have a machine that sorts them by weight. Then each one is hand inspected. They start out with, say, a product run of 10,000, and the ones that are sold for match are maybe 1 and 2 or 300. So you'll get a small tin of closely matched.
Right.
And that's how they managed to do that. There's other ways, but
those Crossman copperheads that I have, they're decent. And I got Daisy steel BBs. Like big old thing of 6,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
When we were kids, we always thought copperhead shot better.
Thought what?
Like I don't know. Well, they're cheaper now.
Yeah.
Thought what?
You can buy 6,000 for $10 instead of $13 for the steel.
The Crossman copperheads
shoot better.
That's what you were saying.
I don't know if they shoot those.
I don't know.
But I've got a bunch of them too.
Yeah.
Crossman copperhead.
I use those for ball bearings.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I just have an old pack of these Daisy.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got 6,000.
They'll last me forever. I've had that bottle for 8 years or more.
Well, it kind of makes sense that copper could shoot better, simply because if you make it just slightly oversized by a thousandth, the copper is softer and is self-lubricating, and so it'd be more consistent. It would be a good seal, and it would be consistent. And then Anonymous confirms that they did shoot better out of his Daisy 856.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll see on video how they shoot out of my new Daisy Red Rider.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, Anonymous points out that the traditional way of getting good groups with an air gun, and to some degree even firearms, is you have to shoot a lot of rounds through it. Then it becomes consistent, because what it's doing, lead of course being a lubricant, it's actually filling in the lands, and as it fills in the lands, you do lose a little bit of your rifling. But what it does is it ends up tightening your barrel. There's less room for blow-by, and so then it becomes more consistent. It also lubricates the barrel, and again becomes more consistent. When you have an absolutely clean barrel that's been stripped of lead and oil and everything else, every time you shoot, you've got slightly different conditions, and there's a lot of blow-by because now there's nothing to seal it. You know, one of the quickest way to ruin an old engine that's running okay but it's starting to lose the compression is to run oil cleanser through it, some kind of a, the gunk remover.
Yeah.
And you'll lose that engine. It'll just blow right through it, because what little sludge was in there that was maintaining compression by filling in the
holding it together
is now gone.
You're right.
Now, I have had old copperhead BBs rust on me.
Oh, they're real rust.
Well, what color did it turn?
Brown. Like a dark brown.
Okay, that's oxidation. Yeah, you're right. You could call that rusting. What they usually do is they usually turn blue-green when they're exposed.
Well, it looks black sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, again, both times where they're exposed to sulfur. Sulfur is called tarnishing, and it's a bit different from rusting. Tarnishing doesn't really change the mechanical properties much.
No,
rusting certainly does, because it degrades the metal.
Yeah.
Copper doesn't rust, but it does tarnish, and it can oxidize, which is you know, when steel or iron rusts, it expands, and that's what destroys it. Um, Copper and silver, they don't change mechanically much. Your silverware, when you polish silverware, they use a reducing agent that strips the oxide off of it and returns it to the original silver, and so it's as good as new.
Yeah.
So if your copperhead BBs are rusting, I would say it's because you've actually abraded the copper coating off by shaking it around in the container or getting dirt on it, and then you're exposing the steel underneath. Yeah, pitting them.
I think what happened to mine is I had a bunch of extras that I put in a Gatorade bottle, and it may not have been completely dry on the inside when I did it.
There you
But I did. It's
There's your
okay.
sign.
I was like, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, yeah, you've exposed the steel, and the steel will rust.
Yeah, it'll pit them too. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just like pitting metal when it does that thing.
Or if you put any other metal in there with them, if there's any exposed steel in there, then you've got an electrolytic problem or process going. Basically, a battery that's self-shorted out, and it'll eat away at the copper and deposit the metal, the iron. 25 years old.
BBs are so cheap though. I mean,
Right.
you can buy 6,000 of them
Right.
for $11, $12.
Yeah, which is why I use them in 3D printed bearings.
Yeah.
Too much fun. Gonna have too much fun.
It's crazy how just our airgun stuff always has to do with math and science.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh,
It's
I'll
all
never use
physics.
math in
It's all math and
my
science.
real
It's
life."
all physics, air gunning.
Yeah.
Well, in general, live firearm. Just math and science behind it.
Yeah. Okay. Ed, probably where the corrosion came from was the inside of the plastic bottle.
Probably.
Plus,
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't airtight, so you had moist air going in and out.
Yeah,
And speaking of
it didn't matter. I dumped them out and bought new ones.
yeah,
But
speaking of moist air, one more ammunition for an old BB gun: spit wads.
Spit wads.
The first BB gun.
Yes, sir.
The stickers. What do you call them? The foxtails also make pretty good ammunition.
Yeah, we used to throw those at each other. Grab them by a handful. Throw them at each other.
That was one of the good things about being able to pull the barrel out of the Red Ryder, is that you could insert your ammunition from the
barrel comes out of that Red Ryder.
Yeah, you could insert it into the block on the word.
Don't worry, DP.
It's not much. It's the opposite of muzzle loading.
I have a Marksman BB repeater from 1991 that can shoot darts. The pistol, and the very end of the pistol pops down. You can load BBs in there and then shake it and shoot. I think you can shoot pellets out of the top because there's a square hole and then the circle part. But the back of the barrel part where the BB comes out is like square.
Well, that was another thing. That was another thing we like to use. We made our own darts by using finish nails, roofing nails, or what do you call them? Well, they're finishing nails. And you just stick any kind of lightweight thing on the back end, and you got a dart.
We were so dangerous as
right?
kids, man.
But
I shot my cousin with a Daisy Beck. And I said, "Oh, don't cry about it. It'll be okay before your mom finds out."
The kids of today would freak out. They would freak out about the way we played.
Now people faint just from us talking about it.
They would. I mean, today, just the way we played back in the 70s and 80s.
We had no seat belts.
I mean, today it would be considered child abuse. It'd be considered some kind of neglect, or
it would be child neglect. Because we played in the streets. I would walk half a mile to school on frosty mornings, walk the half mile back, and play until well after dark before I even came home.
Right.
You know why? Streets were safe.
Yeah. They're much safer than they are today. They each big, long
Yeah.
nail shape rounded to fire out of the break.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Anonymous, except that like nowadays you just assume that it has to be made for you. We made our own. I'd
Yeah.
make my own out of furnish nails, which are those thin nails that have a tiny bead on the back instead of a flat spot to hammer with. And you just stick like a piece of, let's say, a piece of cotton back there, or a piece of chewing gum, anything to make a seal, and drive that out of the barrel. And 50 yards out, it would stick.
That's
Daisy made a double barrel .177 caliber air rifle. It didn't really take. It's very hard to find now, but the museum has one. And you literally break it down, put your BBs in like a regular gun, and then had a double trigger like a double barreled shotgun.
Okay, now when you're talking BBs, you are talking smoothbore, not rifles.
Smoothbore, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rifles have rifling. They spin
Yeah.
they spin the rounds.
now the Daisy is smoothbore, right?
Daisy, yeah, that's smoothbore. If you had a Daisy 880, that's a rifle
Yeah.
bore.
Now they were.
And Daisy will actually stamp rifle bore on the side of their BB guns that have rifle
Yeah.
bore on them.
Yeah, Ed, we know. But back in our days, even little girls in dresses played with BB guns.
Right.
They didn't talk about it, but they did.
But back in your day, there was some little boys that played with dolls too. They didn't talk about it, but they did.
Yeah. Okay. But they weren't trying to convince these little boys to be little girls.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's
Society
stupid. Either
today,
way, it's stupid.
society today is trying to convince
Don't
little
get me
boys and
started on
girls.
that.
You also have to remember too that there were a lot fewer people in those days, and it's not unusual that you wouldn't have someone of the same gender within playing distance. Um, I had
It
I
was
had 3 houses with neighbors that had kids, and every one of them was a girl.
we all,
And after a couple of years of that, my parents had to tell me to stop giggling.
you know, it was there. It was there back in our day. We all remember Boy George. Okay.
Yeah.
It was there, but it wasn't prominent. It wasn't. They weren't going after the school kids to try to convince them to be something they're not back then.
Yeah.
They were them, and they left us straight people alone.
In fact, I have to point out that Boy George wasn't actually trans. Boy George got his start by trying to make fun. He was doing a comedy skit on rock and roll artists, and then became the biggest rock and roll artist of all time, trying to make fun of them. People didn't realize he was making fun of them. They just thought he was the best rocker they'd ever seen because he was
Oh my God!
stereotyping them so bad. He did all that just for show, you know.
Boy George was not considered the most famous.
Either way, man,
Anyway,
the world's not getting any
it's
better.
not. It's not.
That's what the Bible says.
This whole transgender BS is so. The LGBTQ movement, the Pride movement.
Did you get a barbering career out of it, Anonymous?
I convinced my sister.
Convince my sister to grow back. We were always mean to our sisters, dude.
Hey, you have to remember that was payback. It was always payback.
Oh man, my poor little sister. She grew up with 3 older brothers. Oh, tomboy to the T. They love to recruit little kids.
It's not that they love, it's that they hate little kids. They hate people in general, including themselves. And when you hate yourself, how are you going to love anybody else?
Right. That is right.
I had a ricochet the other
Got my
day.
own here.
Me too.
I
Oh,
shaved.
that's yeah. You
I
see the ricochet? That was quite a ricochet.
No,
Was that full automatic?
no, it was I bought one of those Duracell targets that clearly tell you not to shoot BB guns at it,
oh
right?
no.
And I have one that spins. Well,
Got
I
the,
where I'm shooting, it's angled downhill, so even when I shoot at the steel targets, the BBs just go downhill, no big deal. Well, I shot one, it goes, hits the door over here, and I hear stink, and it's a metal door. And Chris comes out and goes, "Was that you?" And I'm like, "Yep, probably
oh,
won't be shooting at that
oh.
one that close anymore."
Yeah, that's why I had to.
I know
That's why I
better.
had to.
I moved the target over a little bit. It don't ricochet anymore, but
That's why I had to put the
they were
firm
on
out
clearance at
back
Walmart
back
for that.
range because you know
Well, tip
one
for the
too many.
day: you always tip your target down towards the ground a little bit, so all the ricochets hit the ground.
Right.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. Yep.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. DT,
Things we
I want to
learned
meet you
growing up
again,
as
my
kids.
friend. This is so cool. I'm excited to shoot
No
my new Red
problem,
Rider.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you got something that you don't got to pump up by hand 8,000
Oh
times to go
man.
shoot it, buy pellets for,
No,
and you can put 650 shots in there and go on about your day.
I'm
I
putting.
always
I'm
appreciate
putting.
anything that gives me so much flexibility. I can dial the power up and down, even if it is manually. I had one of those, and it
Yeah,
was great
yeah,
because I mostly used it for target shooting in my garage, which that gave me all of
yeah.
25 feet. And I just did not want. I mean, sure, there was lots of ricochets, but I controlled the ricochets, and I wore safety glasses, and I made sure there was
Right,
nobody else in the room. Um,
right.
and you can't ever discount the fact that that thing will always be ready to work at a moment's notice, long after the SHTF, and you can't buy anything, and you can't.
Right.
You have no power technology to pump up to those enormous amounts of power we have nowadays.
Right.
Either
That's
way, it's
why I'm
going to
very
bring you
thankful for
hours
the.
and hours and hours of fun out in the backyard shooting stuff.
I'm still very thankful for the pump that you got.
Yeah. Hey, Anonymous, if you're going to do that, here's another tip. Wear a vest made out of putty, so that all your ammunition returns to you, and then you don't have to go chasing it. You just pick it
There
out,
you
put it back in the
you know,
gun, shoot it again.
just take that
Never
putty,
reshoot.
you know.
Never reshoot your BBs. I can see him picking them out and putting them back in the gun. Oh, it jammed. Well, it's
Oh,
misformed.
putty makes a good lubricant
Oh
and
yeah.
a good gas seal. You just put the putty in there
They
and
put
shoot that.
they do teach you to catch your BBs when you make a BB trap. Put duck seal in there
Yeah,
that you use for your AT,
yeah, I've used that.
and it catches
You
them
want to
real
see
good.
some ricochet? Try shooting some silly putty BBs. Just roll them up in little balls,
Putty
stuff them in
BB.
there. Yeah, you'll see some ricochet.
Right, Brian's gonna ruin this gun within the first week of having it because he's gonna be shooting a bunch of random crap out
No,
of
I'm
it.
not. No, I'm not. I want to
How'd
be.
the field break? Well, I tried to shoot a lit match through it. Oh, okay.
I promise to behave myself with it.
Well, there goes $67 down the drain.
No, only BBs, and I will promise to take very good care
Okay. Oh. Hey, I'm actually happy. This is the second live stream where we've actually talked about air gun related
of it. I
topics.
know, right? Oh, there he
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Who is
little
it?
guy.
This is Lucky.
Like,
Oh, hi, Kitty.
Yeah, we named her for the fact that if we hadn't gone to Clear Lake and picked her up, she wouldn't be anywhere anymore. I mean,
yeah.
she had so many flies, larvae in her claws, and yeah, she wasn't very good.
Well, you
Ash,
guys, I think this is a great place to go ahead and
okay,
say goodnight for now and in this stream, which I'm happy we were able to pull off. Oh man, I'm just so freaking. I don't know what's going on with my brand new Ultra 4K camera. Will not stay. It won't stay turned on.
Well, yeah, it looks like okay. First of all, I suggest
Battery.
that
Maybe
you,
the battery's not charging right.
yeah, I suggest that before you announce that you're going on air, that you go ahead and do an audio video recording of
Yeah,
yourself.
no, I do. I do.
Well,
I do every time. It was working. It was working fine before I went on. Before I went on live. As soon as I went on live, it was on, but then the camera just shut down.
well, that just leaves stage
At
fright.
least you got this to roll with right now, Brian.
What?
At least you got that camera to roll with that you're using now.
Right. I got the camera you gave me as backup. Oh.
Yeah, I think you just got a camera that's got stage fright.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
I hate performance
I
issues.
may be returning it to Amazon.
Yeah, if it's in warranty period, I sure would.
Yeah.
And take that first segment that you started with and send that with them in a thumb drive.
Yeah.
Have you used that to film your other videos yet?
Yeah.
So it works when you're just filming normally.
You know?
How long did it run before it started doing this? Good night, Ed.
Hey, Ed. Good night, buddy. Thank you for coming in.
Bye, Ed. Thanks for joining us, man.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. How long did it run before it started breaking down?
It was running fine since I've had it now for a little over 2 weeks.
There you go. Okay, then it's probably infant mortality. Here's another tip. Every piece of electronics you buy, plug it in, turn it on, leave it on for the first month. 90% of failures within a warranty period are infant mortality. It's a manufacturing defect because the chip doesn't get glued down to the heat sink properly and it slowly cooks. You can shake that out generally within the first week. Just keep power on.
Well, if I can't figure it out, it's going back to Amazon.
Yeah.
Or if it works for your normal filming, you can use it for that and use this camera for your live streams. I mean, it is what it is, but
yeah,
I think it's just weird.
It is, because it was working fine. It worked fine through the last live stream.
Yeah. I had just got in the last month 2 ice machines in a row that lasted 3 or 4 days and then quit.
Yeah.
Came back. I was able to get them exchanged, but by the third one, I'm saying, well, if this fails, I'm definitely never going to get this one again. Fortunately, they had another model come in that we didn't have before, but yeah, it's we're running.
You got to have ice out there in California.
Yeah, it's been running for over a week now, and again, I run it day and night, and if it's going to fail, I want it to fail within the warranty period.
Yep.
Well, okay, guys, we're going to say goodnight. And
okay.
I want to thank you guys for coming on the show, and DG again. Thank you so much for your wonderful gifts. You know, you big heart.
You're welcome.
You know, I don't know why you care about me, but you apparently do. So, thank you again, Mystic. Thank you for being on with us. Let's get back into the chat. I know we had, in the first one, we had Mark Bostic come in.
Yep.
I want to thank him for coming in. I want to thank Ed Muslik for coming in. Anonymous American. Yeah, we got Ed Muslik, Anonymous American. We had somebody else I know. We had who else was here?
Me and Mystic.
Well, I've already been thanking you.
Well, I think that was it.
That was it. But maybe it was on the first stream that I was thinking about.
Was Bearded Air Gunner in here?
No, I don't. He was yesterday. He was the day before yesterday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, day before yesterday. So maybe you want to keep a pencil and paper pad next to you and write these names down as they go.
Write these people's names down. Well, they're all right here in front of me. But anyway, you guys, want to thank you for coming in and hanging out again. here at our ranch A.G.F.C Live is electronic doors are closing, glass, our air gun. So until then, hey, you guys, give us a thumbs up, like and share, become a subscriber to our ranch A.G.F.C channel. Until next time, this is your boy Brian signing off at our ranch A.G.F.C Live, saying goodnight. God bless you. Y'all know the rest.